This afternoon in the marketplace, ECG on warpath with Gridco over its decision to sell power to industrial use. We'll hear from an energy expert. Also coming up, we'll bring you a reaction from the Deputy Minority Leader on plans by governments to amend the petroleum laws to allow GNPC make some acquisitions and enter negotiations with international oil firms. Also coming up, as the Food and Drugs Authority raises alert over infiltration of cancer-causing Sudan dye in palm oil sale, Joy Business scouts the market centers for a situational report. Welcome once again to the program. I'm Charles Aite. We have more after this break. Do stay. Hello and welcome. Now, there is growing anger between the Ghana Grid Company, Gridco, and the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, over the former's decision to invade ECG's territory and sell power for industrial use. JoyNews is learning that the development affects cooperation among the utility producers with dire consequences if not immediately addressed. As JoyNews understands, the two entities have complained to the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, demanding a resolution to the matter. At the heart of the simmering discontent is the unpaid 1 billion cedi ECG owes Gridco. The company, which is currently replacing obsolete transmission lines on major lines in the country for reliable and sustainable power supply, requires an additional $350 million to complete the project. Well, we're joined via Zoom by the Executive Director of the Institute of Energy Security, Nana Emuasi the 6th, with some analysis, the 7th rather, with some analysis on this development. We're so grateful, sir, that you joined us. What do you make of the growing tension between these two power entities?
Well, and it's not really a good news because when you have key players in the sector, having issues with each other become a cause for concern. ECG is a distributor and ensure that customers receive power that's generated from the plant, while Gridco is a transmitter, the supposed transporter of the power from the generating plants and to ECG or NETCO to distribute to customers. These are two critical players, and we don't expect them to have any challenges of this nature. And so, as we hear that it's on the decks of the minister, we hope that it will be addressed as soon as possible in order not to affect the reliability of power supply in the system and not generate any debts, extra debts or fiscal burden on the country as well.
Well, you are an expert. You have, reviewed situations as they happen on the ground. Is that really an invasion into ECG's field of play by Gridco?
Well, not any we know of, because what we understand is that Gridco will just move power for bulk consumers as well as for ECG or NETCO. In time past, some companies like the mines and VACO have received their power directly from Gridco and being supplied by the power generators themselves without any ECG involvement. Also, ATL is a typical example. And so Gridco has the right not to sell power, but to move power directly to bulk consumers and receive the transmission service charges from these bulk consumers and not the ECG. And so these bulk consumers are normally on 11 kVA to about 34.5 kVA transmission lines. But then what is currently happening, as we find out, is that because of the huge debts owed by ECG to Gridco, when some of these customers, bulk customers, when they could have gone through ECG first before going to Gridco, when they approach Gridco, Gridco is ready to serve them on the bulk lines and ensure that they receive their money, so that extra debts are not created on the stream when they have to go through the ECG. And to clarify all this issue, we need to revert to the National Electricity Grid Code. That will determine exactly, and that will clarify what each player can do in order not to generate any conflict going forward.
Also, going forward, how can we, forestall any challenges regarding the operational efficiency as well as the monetary implications in the medium to long term?
Well, the Energy Commission is the owner of the entire system, and both ECG and GRIDCO serve under the Energy Commission, and so they will be in a better position to do that. As well as the PRC, they determine the pricing and the transmission and distribution revenues in there. It's important, but ultimately, the National Electricity Grid Code is what these two entities that I've mentioned will look at and settle this amicably and as soon as possible, so we escape some of these incidents in the future.
Nana Mwasi, the 72nd Director of the Institute of Energy Security, we're so grateful that you joined us. Away from that, government has begun processes to amend portions of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act to allow Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, which is GNPC, to acquire some oil blocks operated by Aker Energy and AGM Petroleum. As announced by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, during the 2021 budget review, the move is to enhance the profitability of the country from its extractive sector. Commenting on the development, the Deputy Minority Leader in Parliament, James Kluche Aveji, believes that government should provide more details on the proposals in order to get the deal well debated. He therefore believes that the GNPC should be empowered to do more exploration activities and acquisitions.
The content of what the PRMA that they want to review, the clauses, the sections that they want to review, we need to see it. Then we can know clearly what they are after. Because by mere mentioning it in the statement will not give us the basis. So if you bring it with a memorandum that will be attached to the bill, we will then understand whether what they want to do will bring some improvement or in terms of benefit to the people of Ghana.
I think the GNPC have the capacity to go into such large quantities of production.
Definitely, we can empower them. GNPC, we know, is an organization which has been there for a long time. So we want to look at what the amendment will say, so that if it's an issue of giving them more additional funding so that you can go into this international partnership, I think that is something that we can consider. So, but if we give them the opportunity, they'll be able to do it.
You're still watching The Marketplace. Let's get on Zoom to interact with the Executive Secretary of the Oil Palm Development Association of Ghana. Salon, we're so grateful that you joined us. This matter has been, a prevailing issue for the past, years, and it's really had an impact on the consumption confidence in your particular sector. Walk us through the damaging effects of the use of this dye, not just to consumers, but to the forward sale of oil palm in Ghana.
Well, thank you very much. With this Sudan 4 dye issue, it has been actually, it actually started in somewhere 2015, which the association tried as much as possible to educate the market women on the dangers of it. So in 2015, coming forward, it was a little bit minimized. But coming forward, 2018-19, we had a report from FDA again saying the Sudan 4 adulteration is still on the rise. So what we did as an association is first we tackled, we are looking at 3 different stakeholders here. We are looking at one, the processing aspects. At the processes, we are looking at the middlemen, and we are looking at the market women as well. So our first target was to deal with our members, that is the processors. So we did a sort of sensitization and education on the effects of Sudan 4. That is with our members. We went nationwide to educate our members and create that awareness that the Sudan 4 dye is actually destroying the markets and preventing a lot of people from consuming our products.
Well, but we do know that the potential of your market is worth billions of US dollars. And even though we're having issues regarding the value chain of oil palm production, the Sudan 4 menace continues to be a dampen on your own reputation as an association and even that of oil palm traders as well. Help us understand the impact that this has had on your value chain so far.
Well, with the impact has been devastating. That is to the local consumption, the local consumers. You know, when it comes to palm oil, we have two different markets. We have the international market and we have the local market.
So we're grateful that you joined us. Short commercial break. We're right back to stay. Welcome back. Now, listed companies affected by COVID-19 are picking up strongly and are expected to do well in the second half of this year. After raising more than 100 billion cedis of bonds on the Ghana Stock Exchange, managers of the bears have assured that activities on the market are bouncing back. In an interview with Joy Business, the chairman of the Stock Exchange Governing Council, Ansel Ray-Soa, admitted the effects of COVID-19 pandemic on its operations, but expressed confidence that business is picking up again and on the bears.
As the managing director indicated, as at now we've done over 100 billion worth of business in terms of the bond trading, which is huge. You know, as far as listings are concerned, for example, we only had MTN and Danix Starwind the list last year. So we are hoping to ramp up, you know, but we are getting quite a lot of money from the bond trading, and we hope that will continue.
Finally, on the African Development Bank capacity program, how is it going for you so far?
Well, COVID has created problems for us in every which way, every turn, but we are gradually picking up. So we hope that things, you know, in the latter part of this year, things will pick up. You know, because, I mean, for example, the demutualization, we have expressed council's concern that it's being delayed, you know, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just the circumstances of the time. That's what's happening, yeah.
Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Quartey, has raised questions over the availability of funds to implement the Ghana Cares Obatampa program. According to him, provision of the 100 billion cedi target for the program could be difficult, both from the private sector and public sectors. At a news conference on the 2021 budget review, Professor Quartey hinted that although the program is a promising one to revive the economy, raising funds to implement will be a setback.
Of technical assistance to the garment and textile sector and the pharmaceuticals industry, working towards establishing a garment industrial park, support to key pharmaceutical companies to upgrade their operations to attain good manufacturing practice standards and benefit from the African Continental Free Trade. We've also seen the 1D, 1F, where the number of 1D, 1F projects under the construction as at end June 2021 are 150, up from 107 at end 2020. This brings to total number of 1D, 1F projects at various stages of completion to 278. There are also a lot of youth employment programs aimed at providing, I hear, 1 million jobs, and etc. So by and large, ladies and gentlemen, these interventions are sound, given their focus on light manufacturing. This is because an expansion in labor-intensive manufacturing activities will create job opportunities that are so needed for the growing pool of unemployed youth, while helping to address exchange rate and balance of payment challenges. However, the implementation of the CARES program, ladies and gentlemen, will depend on the extent to which government is able to garner funding from the private sector. If you recall, the 70% of the funding for the CARES program has to come from the private sector. And one would ask why government provides the 30%. In this era where the private sector is struggling, you wonder how government is going to get the 70% from the private sector. We are yet to get a full picture of how this is going to be done. Moreover, it is not clear from the budget how government itself is going to raise the 30% of the funding in the short to medium term. Government hopes to increase tax to GDP ratio from 14% to 20% thereabout, of which the additional revenues could fund the Ghana Cares program. We think this is very optimistic, but if we work at it, then we are likely to achieve that target.
Let's now talk investment, because the GIPC, in partnership with the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Information, have launched the Spark Up, an annual investment summit to account for the disbursement of investment in the country. Now, speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines, the Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah stated that the maiden edition of the summit will focus on the $2.1 billion investment accrued last year. This, he says, is to address the initiatives that are yet to be onboarded from the investments.
Is to properly give us an opportunity to account and to see how much of that 2.7 billion has been successfully onboarded, what are the outstanding issues for those that have not been onboarded, and how can all of us play a part in ensuring that those issues are dealt with so that we're able to fully onboard the outstanding ones. Our expectation is that by the time we are done with this, we would have all seen how we play various roles in ensuring that whatever is outstanding of the 2.7, which will create 27,000 direct jobs if fully onboarded, how we see ourselves in it and how we can participate in unlocking the space so that they are fully onboarded, and then the potential and the benefits is fully actualized.
Well, meanwhile, the Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, made a call to African countries to fully utilize the African Continental Free Trade Agreement by investing in each other. We shall bring that to you subsequently. Of course, the maiden edition of Spark Up will be held here in Ghana with other attendees around the continent of Africa. Away from that, demand for labor, determined by the number of jobs advertised in both the print and online media, remained flat in June 2021. Now, this is according to the Bank of Ghana's survey of labor market conditions. Charles Nixon-Yabua has more.
This is coming following an improvement in the number of advertised jobs between November last year and March this year. At this period, the COVID-19 infections in the country had eased significantly. According to the Bank of Ghana, the number of advertised jobs after going up in late last year and the first quarter of this year remained flat in the second quarter. This is because of the probable second wave of COVID-19 infections, which has now compelled the government to announce new restrictions. About 7,250 jobs were advertised during this period, as against more than 9,000 jobs registered in the first quarter of this year. The services sector maintained its dominance as the leading job providing sector in the economy, accounting for 83.1% of total job adverts recorded in the first quarter of this year. Industry followed with a share of 13.5%, marginally down from 13.6% recorded in the first quarter of last year. Further analysis by the central bank revealed that the main requirements for skilled employees were tertiary education qualification with a minimum of 3 years working experience.
Now, the current prospective customers of Toyota Ghana Company Limited who purchase used cars can finally smile with the introduction of Automark. Creation of the new business unit is in direct response to having a secure platform which deals in such vehicles to support segment of the market with limited budget for new cars. Launching the company's new business unit in Tema, the managing director of Toyota Ghana, Koji Yanaka, said the new unit will bring convenience. There is more in this report.
Toyota Ghana's Automark is to ensure customers receive convenience and transparency when they buy or sell their used vehicles. The model operates in 11 African countries, including South Africa, Mauritius, Kenya, but just to mention a few. Explaining this, Managing Director of Toyota Ghana, Koji Yanaka, indicated the pre-owned sales has two options.
I am happy to inform you that our pre-owned vehicle sales is in two folds. The first design one is a buyback option, where we give you cash for your used vehicle purchase from TGCM. The second option is a trade-in offer, where a customer returns his old vehicle with a minimum top-up after evaluation for a new one right from the showroom. The good news of these options for our customers is that we do not consider mileage and age limit as conditions for the vehicles you return to us.
Under this new business model, the company's financial partners are expected to assist customers with auto loans. The new platform aims to put vehicles which would have otherwise posed danger to human lives in good shape. Head of Sales Operations Andrew Lamte says, launching of Automark is timely, as customers have been exposed to risk of doing business with non-certified dealers.
If you go out there, somebody may offer you a value which might look very fantastic, and you might believe that, oh, this is real value for money. But once you leave the person, are you sure that the money will actually hit your account? Or once you leave that person, are you sure that the change of ownership, preparation and everything is okay? Or in some few weeks' time or few days' time, you have to be grappling with the authorities or the police because there is some fraudulence in it. So for Toyota Ghana, you are sure that we are certified, we are genuine business, and therefore you have your peace of mind anytime you deal with us in terms of selling your used car or buying a used car or a new car from us.
Meanwhile, service engineer at Toyota Ghana, Isaac Mensah, says the company is working with insurance companies to offer competitive premiums to customers. He throws more light on the one-year complimentary service.
We undertake basically the oil change, and we also do a full inspection of your vehicle. So we check your brakes and the parts to see if they are within standards. If they are not, we replace them for you free.
Well, that's how we end this edition of The Marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. For more news, you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Many thanks once again for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.